Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the side quest with Dormammu as boss, the weekly event, the Trial of Madness, and I want to be showcasing what I consider one of the most powerful teams in all of Marvel Contest of Champions. Now this is a team that I've dreamed of having at the highest rank possible, eventually rank 4, maybe even rank 5, simply because I love using these champions. They're all women, which I think is really cool, as there are fewer women champions in the game. And additionally, the synergies and the amount of utility that these champions cover is almost boundless. Like, I would argue you could bring them into almost any situation and figure out a way to get through a quest if you went in blind. And it starts with the fact that they're all different classes. It starts also with the fact that they all have miss or evade or some kind of avoiding contact. And then they all have ways to ramp up damage and just have various pieces of utility that make it so fun. And this reminds me of the, I guess you could call it the old days of MCOC, before we sort of had the current Act 7 model, which is lane identities, and you can basically steamroll through a lane with one champ or one type of champ. You know, like, oh, you need a skill purifier. Great, I'm going to pick my 3 skill champions, throw on a couple synergies, and just go through, and every fight feels the same. To the older days when you had to build teams that could counter multiple pieces of utility. You know, maybe you needed a champ with a high crit rate, and then you needed someone with a certain immunity, and then you needed someone who could deal with evade. And there was just lots of things to consider when you scouted out your path. And even though this Trial of Madness is not the hardest thing in the world and is relatively short and the health pools are relatively small, I did get a little bit of a sense of that older design where there were lots of very specific nodes that did require actual counters, and I was really happy that this team could counter it so well. So, you know, those old days of like the Killmonger, Sabretooth, Void type teams, or like the Holy Trinity with Blade and Ghost Rider and Starkey, they were really fun because you could rank up really good champions and then bring them together and they all made each other better. And I feel like that's the case with this team, and I was really excited to be able to showcase it. So here we go. We're going to get started, and as we go, I'm going to kind of explain why I picked the team and who counters specifically what. We didn't get the hardest polls for which champions are here, but here we see Foresight. So Elsa Bloodstone has a free intercept, so she's going to be able to deal with that. Dizzy means that we're going to be getting a disorient on us, which she is able to shrug and convert into a precision. And then Can't Touch This is a predictable and annoying evade. So we do our counter thing right at the beginning. The disorient shrugs. Now we do medium, medium. And now at this point, we're going to have a cold snap up for the entire fight. Now, a lot of people have complained with Elsa that she does not have a reliable evade counter because you have to get evaded once before. But I think on nodes like this, like Can't Touch This or Mixmaster, where you can very predictably have them evade, you're going to be able to counter the evade safely just like that. And additionally, we saw some bonus attack from the Foresight node, and the synergy with Tigra gives her longer debuffs, which means especially for the busted debuffs, it's going to mean more red damage as those things stack. So yeah, she completely handled that first evader. On this one, the main thing to know is that they are going to be hitting us quite hard because of the cruelty buffs that they have. And then additionally, crit me with your best shot means the only way to do damage is off of crits. And of course, Ghost would work great here, but I wanted to show off the entire team. So this is going to be our Kitty Pryde fight. She has class advantage, and she gets an increased crit rate when she goes into phase. So we're just going to build a few prowess, and now we can start phasing. Now, I am not the best Kitty Pryde player, but You are going to see me kind of utilize her kit here and get hit a couple times, which isn't the end of the world. So we're just phasing. You can see while phased, these crits are landing. My goal is I want to throw a special 1. Now the Tigra synergy is coming into play with the unblockable. The ghost synergy basically means you don't lose prowess as fast when you miss. So even though we're doing the medium lights, we're not having our prowess go all the way down to 0. Right there, we waited till the end of our phase to throw our special 1. This is going to start building up our prowess bonus meter, which is currently purple. And given the length of this fight, we're just going to throw 1 special 1 right there. I was not at 3 prowess, so I wasn't able to phase. The awakened ability gives us reduction of damage while phasing at 100%, and additionally it allowed us to refresh one of our incinerates. But right there, big crits, which is very nice. We want that special 2 to crit, and I'm looking at how much health he has left. I just want to build back over 3 prowess so that we can get back into our phasing, and the phasing is going to allow us to crit a little bit, and then we're just going to throw 1 more special 2. Even though we don't have a max prowess stack, we just kind of wait, and here it's unblockable, and that's going to crit at the end and get him down. So yeah, just an interesting node. There was a Jabari on there in some other iterations of this quest. She can also counter that as long as you avoid the special 1 and just hold block to push her to the special 2. And in this next one, we're going to have Vigorous Assault and Arc Overload. I was kind of hoping for the old man Logan here because he's unblockable for more of the fight, but the fight would generally look about the same as it will with this Deadpool. We do have to worry about the power gain that he gets at the end, but I am using Ghost because she has the direct counter for unblockable. Additionally, she's just going to be able to get things going faster, and she is going to be able to get a prowess on her, which is part of that first node, so it should be able to help us get the node down a little bit faster. Now, of course, having Hood would help us with this degeneration, but you know, we just have the easy openings. I think of all these champions on the team, people are probably the most familiar with Ghost, as she's one of the older champions and has been used for so much. But the fact that she fits on this team and that she gets improved by Wasp and she makes Tigra a better champion, and she also adds crit rating for everybody based on one of the Wasp synergies, it's a pretty good addition to the team, because there are going to be times where, you know, Ghost is the best champion to use, and she does require a little bit of practice for people to be able to use. But I feel like if you have her, if you've ranked her up, if you have her at a decent sig, you're pretty familiar with how to use her. We're just going to do 1 more special 2 and he goes down. So Ghost fulfills her role. Even though she could probably do this entire map, I did want to kind of showcase some of the other champions so that we don't, you know, just do a steamroll through with 1. Now this next fight, this is going to be where Tigra shines. Because we have basically a damage reduction based on if we have buffs on us and whether he has debuffs on him, and we're not going to be very easily getting you know, buffs on ourselves, but it is going to be pretty easy to put a ton of ruptures on him, which is going to take care of one of those damage reductions. Additionally, shock tether means that if we're too passive, we're going to be getting a shock on us. Now the shock will allow us to have a higher crit rate, but in general we want to avoid the shock. And the playstyle of someone like Tigra is very aggressive. So we start with a parry because mine is not max sig, so I wanted to get the neutralize up. And now we're going to start doing some heavy counters. There is a way to completely punish the special 1, but I am not as good of a Tigra player as some other people. So the way we deal with it is we just hold miss, and then we release into a special 1. That's going to do plenty. We can do some heavy intercepts in the corner now. One of my senses fell off, so I am going to need to throw an unblockable special 1. But you can see, even with the damage reduction, because we don't have buffs, we are able to keep up the tempo of this fight. There are plenty of debuffs on him, and this is not even full damage Tigra. This is just solid damage Tigra. Here we intercept, but we throw the special 1 just to be safe. And now I'm in a position where I can start building up to my special 2, which will hopefully be my finishing move. And now we have the special 2. We just have to bait this out, and we can throw this thing from across the screen. And with all these ruptures, with all the additional damage, with the power gain from the blue sense, he's at very low power now. One more special one should be able to take him down. And yeah, there's Tigra for you guys. There is Tigra. So she definitely fits on this team. She gets much improved with the Kitty Pryde synergy. It makes her neutralize longer, which in turn means if you have a lower Sig one, it's going to keep your senses up for longer. And that is just super, super helpful for me. So now this fight is probably one of the easiest ones on the map. There's not really anything going on unless if you accidentally throw a special with very low power and you end up at 0 power, you're going to take a burst of damage. So what we're going to do is just use good old Elsa here, because Thor is considered large, which means that whenever you put the busted debuffs on him, the light enders, we're going to see some pretty big crits. You saw that last one for 6k. That is based off of her Sig ability. And also, she's a champion where if you only use special ones, you're going to be doing plenty of damage and utility. So we're just going to throw our special ones as we get very close to 2 bars of power. That way we never drain ourselves completely. And, you know, she is a great general quester with plenty of damage, with, you know, saving a little bit of block damage off of her counter evade that she has. There we go again with the busted debuff. We're seeing all this red direct damage. One more special one is going to take him down, especially if you're going up against large or extra large, or, you know, additionally champions that have science tag on them. She's going to be absolutely insane. And, you know, for some champions that are large and science, it's just going to be like every time you do anything, you get a big crit bonus. Now for this one, we're just going to go back to using Ghost again. This fight, I think we could use just about anybody. But here's the deal. I see Power Shield, I think Ghost. That's just how I am. Additionally, it has Specialist 1, which means that our Special 1 is going to hit full damage, but our Special 2 is not. However, you're going to see that the Power Shield is still plenty to enhance her Special 2. It's just not going to be its max potential because of the Specialist 1 on it as well. So yeah, we're just doing pretty normal ghosting here. Mine is very high Sig, so we're able to get to that Special 2 very quickly. Next thing we have to worry about is baiting out her Special 2. She has Power Focus 2, but the combat power rate is so low on Sorcerer that we're not really building it up that fast. And, you know, this is just a very, very conventional Ghost fight. Ghost can take pretty much anybody. And this is just like, hey, we got Power Shield. We're just going to use someone who has guaranteed crits and big Special 2s. And boom, Sorcerer goes down. No issues there. And then for the grand finale, probably the most fun fight for sure, is we're going to use my second favorite champion in the game, aside from Elsa, which is Wasp, to take down this Dormammu. And now, you know, Miguel, Spider-Man 2099, easily the best counter for this fight. But Wasp has a lot of things going on, okay? So we have to worry about encroaching stun, and then prey on the feeble and prey on the weak means if we get buffs on us, we are just going to get destroyed. He's going to get a prowess. He's going to basically have Mystic Dispersion from prey on the weak, and additionally the degen. So there's a couple ways that Wasp can combat this. First of all is just her play style. She's going to be knocking Dormammu down a lot, which means he's going to be very easily backed up. He's going to want to throw his specials. We're not going to have to worry about dexing too much. And then additionally, off of my Special 1, I have a very potent concussion that starts off at 40%. Based off of him being a mystic, and then every hit on my combo meter is going to add another 1%. So right here we're just going to block. She's definitely a glass cannon. She took lots of block damage there, but here we go. We're going to knock him down. We're saving our special for the encroaching stun. She just has so much damage per hit. We still haven't triggered Dex. Time to throw the Special 1. Now we have 31 combo, so that means we have about 70% ability reduction, which means I could probably Dex and not get punished by him. And then that's going to be just about it. Wasp is going to be able to get him down. She has very high damage per hit. She has guaranteed crits. She's one of the best mystic killers out there simply because she doesn't really require buffs. She doesn't require dexing in order to play her. And in this type of situation, we were able to get him down, put the concussion on him, put the weakness on him, and that's going to be the end of it. So this is my favorite team. I'm just going to say it. I'm looking forward to using them more. I'm also looking for a name for this team. I mean, I'm kind of playing around with Women of Power. A few people on Vega's Discord server gave me some interesting ideas as well. So if you can think of a name for this team, let's go for it. Let's come up with it together. I want to be using this team even more. But for now, I'm just going to call it the team, man. This is my favorite team by far. Get to use my favorite champions. They're all ranked up. I do want them to all be ranked 4 someday in the future. You know, they probably won't be my next 5, but definitely champs like Kitty and Ghost I could see coming up a little bit earlier. And yeah, that's going to wrap it up for now. Let me know what you think. Do you love this team as well? And I'll catch you in the next one.